Hello! Okay, April Filofax Friday update. I've been a bit scarce this week because I've been doing my Ostara spring clean, and also my mum and dad are coming in about 25 minutes to come and help me do things like putting up shelves and moving furniture and all that, and my flatmate's moving out. It's been a crazy week. I've got a new foster dog coming tomorrow, I think. So yeah, it's all, everything's up in the air this week, but from Monday I'm hoping to get back to normal. But I thought I would, since I'm up at some crazy ridiculous hour this morning, just run you through my April setup for my Filofax. This is my personal one. It is a Filofax Kensington, so it's an older model. It's been around since, well, this model is from 2002. Or this particular one rather, but I think they came out before that. I think they came out in 2000 and they were retired in sort of 2001, 2002 collection. So it's actually, it looks dark brown on camera, but having had some speculation about whether it was the dark brown or the burgundy, I've done some searching around. It's very difficult to tell. Even people who own both colours said unless you put the two together you can't tell which is which. It's very hard to tell which is the brown and which is the red. Now this one, on the camera, red doesn't pick up very well, so it looks like it's a very, very, very dark brown. But in sunlight it turns red. And everyone who's got the brown has said there is absolutely no red in it whatsoever. So I'm fairly convinced that this is the burgundy. Once you put it together with my two Midoris, this is burgundy red, and you can see against the burgundy red it kind of looks brown, but it is picking up the red. But then you put the brown Midori next to it and it looks very red, so yeah. But I'm fairly convinced this is the burgundy one. The layout of the Kensington is kind of what I call a classic Filofax layout. It's got the credit card slots, it's got a pocket, and it's got the gusseted pocket, which everybody always wants and can never find because they only did them on the older models. It has a very, very long strap. This is, I mean, I thought the strap on the Holborn was long, but this is crazy long. This is a full 3 inches. Some of the newer ones only have like a 2-inch strap. You lose the whole of that bit. But this is very, very big. This is as big as the Chino. See that? So much room to stuff things in. But I'm not a Filofax stuffer, as you can see. I like my Filofax portable because I'm currently using this as my wallet. So in here I've got my coffee cards, main cash cards, gift cards, and then my emergency card. So this is just a laminated piece of paper with all my next of kin details and stuff. A couple of post-its that I use all the time, these little highlighter flags, and my business card post-its, and just a random sticker that I've got that I'll use somewhere. In here I've got my diary stickers and things like that, because you know I love my diary stickers. My charm, this is actually the fox charm that I had on my green Midori, my Ray Dory, and it's from a pencil case from Paper Chase from the Woodland collection, which you can't get anymore, but I really liked it, so I took it off and I kept it. I've still got Bette Midler on the front here. Keep calm, I am calm. And my contact details with just a little fox sticker, and my Filofax in case of return thingy. Now this is essentially my me section that I had before. Because I've started using the DIYFish inserts, I've been able to get rid of having tabs and sections and all sorts. But this front bit is all my bits that I want to keep in here. So I've got my happiness project stuff, I've got some odd notes for Witchy Wednesdays and Journal Junkies and YouTube and things like that. I've got my when I have 5 minutes list, which I haven't transferred out of my Zen journal. I'm going to do a whole video on this, but in my Midori I have a grid book, and it's kind of like a bullet journal, it's kind of like a Zen to done journal, it's kind of like a GTD system. I'm going to do, like I say, a video on how it works, but this is my running to-do list. And things get transferred out of there into here, but this list I haven't really used, so maybe it needs to be renamed into something else. The title is put on with washi tape, so I can just take that off. My things I've lost, or things the fairies have stolen list, which is things that have disappeared into my studio, never to see the light of day again. My art pals, this is just a running list of received and returned mails, so I know who I've got to return mail to. My personal information section, and then I've got my book list. I like to keep my book list in here. I don't really know why, there's not really a practical reason for it. I just like to keep my book list in here, it's handy. And I do refer to it quite a lot. So I've got my little tab that I made out of a bookmark. This hasn't changed. This is on Midori lightweight paper, my big read list, the big read 100 BBC books or whatever. My current book list, as you can see, I have quite a few books at the moment that I haven't read yet. My film list, which I'm slowly getting through, and my TV list, which needs updating. So I will write that in my journal. I started doing these every other line, but it was taking up too much space. My writing's too small for me to bother with that. So update TV list in Filofax. There we go. That'll get done later. I've got one of those www pages in here just for quick reference, for if I want to write down a YouTuber or anything like that. I do find that I use these, but I don't use them very often, which is why it's blank. But I thought it would be useful to just put one in there so that when I do need it, because I don't have a notes section anymore, I've got something that I can put all my websites together. And then I've got, that's actually part of my happiness project, that should be at the front. Then I've got my lightweight Midori paper that I cut up, it's just my note paper. And my handyman for the home list, so I've got things like the electrician, the guy who fixes the washers and dryers, the plumber, my physiotherapist, that kind of stuff. And then this is I cut some dashboards and I put tabs on them. So I do have some tabs, but they're all removable. They're not section tabs, they're just highlight markers. And they've all got these things at the bottom, just so it's easy to flip to a section. This is my Zen Things bulleted system thing, which I'm going to write up, hopefully next week, write up the system. This came with the Filofax. I got loads of notepaper in every colour you could possibly imagine. This was absolutely chock full of notepaper. In fact, the amount I paid for this Filofax, you would have paid more just for the notepaper that was inside it. So I got loads of notepaper in different colours. I happen to like the orange. I'm going through a bit of an orange phase at the moment. So I'm using that for my Zen list and I'm going to write that up. Then you come into the diary section, which is, I didn't really see the point in putting a diary thing just to divide the sections when I've got tabs here, so I don't really need it. If I need my year list, I just, you know, it's there. So I've got my year calendar, 2013, 2015. I've got my one to-do list. I don't use this as to-dos, I use this for planner stuff I want to do. So I've got quite a few things in my Zen journal that I'm going to transfer onto this list, and as and when I have time to try out different ideas. You know, if I see an idea on YouTube and I think, oh, that's a good idea for my planner, then I'll jot it down here and I'll give it a go. That's how I find out about DIYing fish inserts. And then I've got one single notes page, and that is more for really important notes. Offhand, off the top of my head, I cannot think of a single thing that I might want to put on here. Most of it goes into my fish inserts, but you know, it's handy to have just one piece that is for really, really mega important notes, but I don't need a whole section for it. Then we come on to my DIYFish inserts. These are the LM2.1, Life Mapping 2.1's version. I've got my contents page, which is where I just write down important stuff or important events or things I want to refer to again, and the page numbers. And I've got my today marker in there. Then I've got just a plastic fly leaf where I can put, I've got one of these in front of every month, and I just use it for sticky notes and things for next month. I've actually got one more than I need, which is why I've got one for April, because obviously I don't need any sticky notes for April now. Things go straight into my pages. But I had an extra one, so I thought I might as well just leave it there. The front of the DIYFish inserts, if I can just go to May, which is here, is plain. And rather than writing stuff on the front of there, I thought I would have a monthly calendar. Now, of course, there is a monthly calendar here, but I don't have to fold that out. So I just thought this would be an easy way of marking off the days. I'm doing No Spend April, so I've got my hashtag up there. That's Easter weekend. When I've got something important happening, I've actually got a friend coming down for the whole weekend. You know, so it's just for really important things. And these are from Hello Cuteness, and I just really love the designs. They are cute. Really cute. So I printed off the whole year. On the back there is a to-do list, and I used that rather than putting lots of sticky notes. Stuff that I needed to do in April that didn't have a date yet, I put on there. Once I'd transferred it into April, when I had a date for it, I just stapled that to the back of there. So it's, you know, it's not a floppy thing. So that sits like that. I put a little tab on here just so it's easy to pull it in and out. My monthly chart I use mostly for tracking rather than anything else. I think I explained this before, that it's just so that I can see when I last did a video and when I didn't. So for instance, this week I didn't get a chance to do Witchy Wednesday, so it's moved forward, which means I really have to do one next week. So I can look at this and go, oh, did I do a Witchy Wednesday? When did I last do a Witchy Wednesday? I can't remember. Oh, I'll just come to my monthly chart. Oh, I didn't do one last week. I need to do it this week. When have I cleaned the yard? I cleaned up the yard after the dogs. When have I paid bills? Which ones have I paid this month? So I've just got all my bills written down, and I just tick them off as they get paid. Simple as that. I've also got things like my happiness project, my book shadows project, planner and organisation projects, and my 10 things declutter. The intention was that I was going to mark off what days I'd done something on them, just so that I could see, you know, oh, I haven't done anything on my happiness project for a while. I probably should do that, but I keep forgetting to fill it in. So I may not do that. See, these, because I've put the boxes in, I remember oh yeah, when I do a YouTube on a Monday or a Thursday, then I should probably mark it off. But I don't tend to remember to come back and put a box in if it's not a scheduled thing. So I may take that out. Then on this side of the inserts, and these do fold out all the way, but it's just easier to do it like this so that I can show you on camera. I have the monthly thing where I put in events. So I've got my When Frogs Sing, what classes are going on for those weeks. I've got a dog food delivery, an Asda delivery, deflea the dogs that week, Mum and Dad coming for the weekend, Helen moving out, you know, all that kind of stuff, that goes in here. And I tend to use this as my in advance calendar. So something that I know is happening but I don't know what time, or I'm not sure what day or whatever, I will put it on here, and if I don't know what day it's going to be, or I'm not sure, or it's not confirmed, I'll put it on a sticky note. So I've already got May and June printed out in here, just the months. No, sorry, just the month for June, and then for May I've actually got the weeks as well. So when I print the daily pages for May, I'll print the weeks for June and pop those in. So I've got 3 months, this month and the next 2 months. I used to keep last month, this month and next month, but I actually don't use last month very much. I just need it for reference. And anything that I need to go back and reference more than twice in a month, then I will take a snapshot of it and put it in Evernote. So I don't really need to refer back. Then I've got my weekly section. So this is what the week bit looks like. Without that. Oh, my calendar, by the way. When I bought the Life Mapping 2.1 inserts, the calendar was the backwards one, where it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and it went that way. Vertical that way. Which means you could turn it and use it as a traditional calendar. But of course, turning it that way is really awkward for me because I'm a lefty. That's my natural way to turn things. So I asked Fish, I actually begged and pleaded with Fish, could she please possibly make me some custom inserts with the month left to right instead of right to left, because I just could not handle it. I tried it, I did give it a try, and I could not cope with the fact that it was vertical and backwards. One or the other is fine, but I couldn't cope with both. So she actually ended up doing a poll. Her customer service is amazing, and she takes on board what people are saying and suggestions people make, and she asks what other people would like, and if it turns out that it's something that a lot of people want, she'll put it in. And so many people said that they would actually prefer the left to right calendar, that she's ended up putting this in as an extra insert. So now if you buy, previously when you bought the Life Mapping 2.1, you only got the backwards calendar, and it was Life Mapping 2, which was no longer available, that had the left to right calendar. And from feedback that she got, she decided to put these in as well. So now the 2.1 includes the backwards calendar and the forwards calendar, so you can choose which one you want to print out, which is fantastic. There's very few people who will do that kind of thing for you. So this is the weekly fold out. This is for timed appointments and major events. So this is basically stuff from here that I now have a time for. So once I have a time, like this, Mum and Dad were coming for the weekend, I knew that weeks in advance. It was only last night that my dad confirmed they'll be here at 9 AM. So that went in last night, once I knew exactly what time they were going to be here. I've got a sticky note at the top there, that's my spring clean week, so any important thing I will put on a sticky note up there. This page I use for my running total accounts on my personal spending account, so not my day-to-day spending, my bills and all that kind of stuff. This is purely for my little, I've got a little cash card account that is purely for the odd £5 or £10 or whatever, and that's where I pay for if I want to buy a book for my buy a book, or if I want to get some hair dye or have a pizza, you know, it comes out of that. If I've got no money in that account, I can't afford it. So this, at the moment, there's actually no money in that account, and I'm doing no spend April. So this week I've been very good so far. I did buy something the other day from a charity shop for 50p, 50 pence, which is about 75 cents for those of you in other parts of the world who work in dollars and things. However, it came out of a £50 budget that I've already put aside for my Ostara spring clean, which is to buy storage or wall hangings or anything like that for the studio. That's all it's for, and you know, shelves and things like that I need to get when my dad gets here. So I've actually no spend April, week 1. So far so good. I say week 1, we're 4 days in. Now at the front of the inserts, because I do my inserts, I've got the month. A lot of people do the month, then all the weeks, then all the days. I don't do it like that. I found it better to do the month and then all the week, then the week and all the days, and the week and all the days. So this is week 14, and these are all the days for week 14. And then when you get to Sunday, you have week 15, and I've got all my week 15 pages tucked in there. I just find it easier to work like that. I've tried it both ways, and I prefer that way of working. So that gives me a spare page here, and I use this for my shopping lists. So I've got my list of things that I buy regularly. That was actually my shopping list for the beginning of the month. And then there's odd bits and pieces that I buy again, like I'll probably buy toilet roll again, I'll probably buy bread again, things like that, milk, stuff that goes off, you know, fresh fruit and stuff if I forget that. I've got a list of things that I need to get if I go into town, but I didn't go into town this week, so I didn't bother doing a list. And then these are the daily pages. I was using them as a journal last month. I kind of swap around with my journals. Sometimes I use my Filofax, sometimes I use my Midori, sometimes I use my big book. At the moment I've got a new insert in here that I'm using for my journal. And I'm doing art and I'm doing writing. So, you know, I like to change things up. I don't always do the same thing every month, which is why I do an update every month to show you what I'm doing this month. It's not about... A lot of people think that we change our Filofax and Midori stuff around all the time because we're looking for the perfect system that's going to work. I'm not looking for the perfect system that's going to work. I just want what's going to work for me this month. This is what's working for me this month. Having my Midori and having this separately. That's what's working for me. Last month, having it all in here was working for me. Next month, I might not even use my Filofax. You don't know. I don't know, you know. Anyway, I use this for main stuff for the day. So, for instance, no spend April. There's my hashtag. This is my to-do list. I use this. This is for water. It's your 8 cups of water, but I actually use it for marking off how many cups of coffee I've had, because I'm only allowed a certain amount of coffee in a day, and I tend to forget how much I've had, especially if I get up at an odd time. So I mark off when I've had a cup of coffee, and then once I reach my limit, I have to go to decaf. And then this side I'm using for instance, one of my to-dos was to sort out my mailing, and there's my mailing list that I was working on. Now, because I use a bullet journal system, this is an ongoing list, so I will go back to this and refer to it, but I know it's there. So I'll just go back and refer to it. I won't bother writing it out again later. And then I've just got that was my Asda delivery, my grocery delivery. So once I'd got my confirmation. I wrote it all on there, noted down my delivery, and then once I knew I got the delivery time confirmed, I put it onto my week. Oh, I haven't put my page numbers in, I need to do that. So this week's kind of a bit sparse because first off, I haven't decorated, I haven't had time, and second, I've been working in the studio getting everything sorted out, doing my spring clean, so you know, I've not been, the busier I am, the less goes in here. Which is ironic. You would think that the busier I was, the more that would go in here, but I don't write to-do lists in here. Except for stuff that I must do that day. So these to-do lists always get done. That is what I must do that day. That was what I had to do that day. Now, for bills and things, what I do is I put my little sticky note. I use these reusable sticky notes. I write on what the bill is, because some of these are normal, everyday, these are monthly recurring payments that don't change. So that was paid. So what I will do with that now, I will put that in my notes section, and I will put Netflix paid, and then it goes to the 28th, which is when it's next due. So the 28th will be up here somewhere. 20th. There we go, there's the week, there's the 28th. There's the Monday the 28th, and I will pop it on there. Now I deliberately cut my days shorter than my weeks so that I can put all my days inside the week on the rings like that. Just to, you know, keep it organised. So that's that done. As I paste something, I put it up there, and at the end of the week I will archive it and, you know, transfer it to where it needs to be onto the contents list. Thursday was a little busier because I had a lot of coming and going happening. Quite often what I'll do on this page, like here, I have a to-do list. My dad's bringing his tools with me. He's going to fix some shelves and stuff, and I needed to do a to-do list for my dad. So I put on there, need to do to-do list for dad. Now my to-do list isn't in here, my to-do list is in here. But the note that I need to do it is in here because I refer to this more often, if that makes sense. Again, to-dos that I had to do yesterday went on there. Timed appointments, notes, like I was feeding Arnie yesterday because Helen was on a late shift. And this helps me organise. Putting it like this helps me organise. So for instance, here, this line is Helen's shift. So because I knew that that line was there, I knew that I needed to feed Arnie at 6 o'clock because he gets fed between 6 and 8. So if there's a green line there, I feed Arnie. So I put feed Arnie in there. Because I put feed Arnie in there, and I knew that that day I was going to have to go downstairs and feed Arnie and take him out and everything else, I also put my Asda delivery that I booked 2 days before in that slot, so 6 till 8, and I worked that in as my break. So between 6 and 8, I went down and fed Arnie, I had some dinner myself, I took the girls out, and my Asda delivery came when they because they text you and let you know what time they're going to come, so I was able to take the dogs out before they arrived with the delivery. So that really helps me plan what I'm going to do for the day and when I'm going to work. And then today, so I've got a bill there that I haven't paid yet. I need to do that in a minute, and then when I've done it I will write it up there and move that to next month. Got some to-do things. my weekly cleaning schedule. Now I did this is my schedule that I use. I don't know if I've shown you this before, but it basically is a flip over. It's a little laminated thing with, obviously I can put it in and out. I cut the tabs so I could put it in and out. And I deliberately did it so that it turns like that. So I got week 1 and week 2. I've got a list of 7 things I do and I alternate them. So this one says studio lounge area clean, tidy bedroom, and then on this side it's bedroom clean closet area, studio tidy up. So they alternate. So I'll tidy one and clean the other, and then the other next week I'll swap it over, and that goes through all the week. And then on the 7th day they cleaned. Number 7 is just a complete, that's what I do on a Sunday morning while I'm listening to my audiobooks. So that's handy to have in there, that's quite useful. And obviously because it's the right side up or not, I can tell what week I'm on. At the moment I've also got, oh, this is another dashboard that I've got with a tab on it, so I can go to today. And what I do with this, because when I open my Filofax up, I go to today, the dashboard is on this side. Now most people, if they're going to have a dashboard like that, they assume the dashboard is on this side, but to me that's a bit backwards because it's just the way I work. I'm predominantly left-handed, so I use my left hand and I use my thumb, which is why I've got bottom tabs, and I just open my diary like that. So my dashboard is actually this side. So I have reminders that I need to do. This is stuff that I need to do but I haven't got round to yet, and it's not majorly important. So at some point I've got to rearrange to have the gas meter updated. But it's not majorly important, it can wait till after the week, the spring clean week is done. This is a sticky note with tabs on, which is really handy. Again, these are from the works. They're about, I think they were £1.99, but I got mine on 2 for 1. And, oh, what's that? They come like this. So they come in a little booklet. You've got your different colours. It's the colour coding system that I use. It's really handy, and you can stick things in and have them as little tabs. So rather than having tabbed sections, I can do specific lists and tab them that way. So this is my spring clean week, and this is what we're doing all the way through. And what I do with my to-dos is, again, this will be part of my Zen journal thing that I'll do. The blocks, I do a to-do box. When I've started it, I put a dot in it, and when I've finished, I block it out. I cannot swear to where I got that idea from, but I think I got it off Carrie Harling. Not 100% sure, but I think that's where I took that idea from. I also have, so things that are ongoing, I put a dot in. Things that have started but not finished, I put a line through, and anything that's cancelled, I cross. So that just, you know, this spring clean tab can move. I've put it on Friday because that's when my parents are here for the weekend. But I can move this to later in the week. So again, this, I've recycled all the paper and card last night, so I can colour that one in. That's done. The rest of the month is blank. I haven't done anything. So Saturday I've got an appointment and I need to do the yard. I would have done it today actually because I didn't do it yesterday, but it's absolutely hammering down today, so I won't bother doing it. I'll do it tomorrow when it's supposed to be a nice day. And then you can see the rest of the month is completely blank. I don't decorate in advance, I don't do anything like that. I will decorate if the mood takes me. If it doesn't, I won't. And you know, maybe Sunday when I'm having my day off, I'll think, oh, I feel like decorating my Filofax. I might go back and decorate some of these, you know, and put stickers in. I don't know. I may or may not. These are all the weeks with the days and so on. Any sticky tabs that I don't need for the rest of this month, any bills that are paid that are moving to next month, I will put them in next month. The one I did earlier is paid every 4 weeks, so it gets paid twice in April. This is for my library books. My library books remind them that my library books are due back. My library books are not due back till May, and I can't remember what date they're due. I have to look it up, so I've stuck that on the front of May, and when I get to May, I'll deal with it then. I need to print out my Hello Cuteness month cover for May and June. I haven't got around to that yet because my printer's not hooked up at the moment because of the spring clean. You can see why everything's on hold at the moment. So there's May. I've got my May monthly, and inside that I've got my weeks. I like to do it like this because it keeps it all together. Just is easier. And then I've got June, but I've only got the month for June. I haven't got anything else. And then my colour code system is in one of these envelopes. Now, you can see there my colour code system. My colour code system matches my tabs. It's the same colour code system I use for my highlighters and everything else. This is an envelope, and I made this from some free bookmarks. This is an insert. I won't pull it out because it gets stuck, but that's my colour code chart. And whereas some people just have single colours, I actually have multiple colours. So when I get to, hang on, let me move, there we go, let's use this one. So you put your colour codes here for what is available on this page when you've got notes. Instead of having just one box, I've got several boxes. And the reason for that is the main yellow box is VIP stuff. But under there I have subcategories. So if I put a doctor's appointment, I put it on that line. A dentist appointment goes there, a vet appointment goes there. Same with my pink section for social media. The main one is for YouTube, but then I've got vlogs, Filofax Friday, and my stats underneath. So that's how it works. So for instance, if I did a film review, that's under personal. Film reviews are on that line, so I would put it there. So I can tell by how far down the list it is which main section it goes into. I've just got some plain bookmarks on the back of there. There's some Filofax bookmarks. I've got, because of the way I set up my pages, I end up with an extra page. I don't quite know how it works. I think because I'm putting my week in with my days, these are the odd ones from the end of the week, because, for instance, here, so the 27th, instead of using that page, another spare page like you would have there, okay, 25th, that page, 26th and that page, 27th, and then it goes to a new week. So instead of printing out a spare page and then having 2 pages extra, I just use the back of the week. I don't know if that's how she intended them to be used or what, but that's what I do. So I end up with these extra pages, which I just put in at the back there, so I can use those for whatever. Maybe I need extra contents pages or something like that. These are my important diary stickers. They're not the cute fluffy ones. They're things like my moleskin stickers that I love using, my reinforcement tabs, and also I've got things like the sticky things for the dogs defleeing. So when I've done that, I'll put the sticky in here. And on this side I've just got some odd bits and pieces, just little bits that, and offcuts and stuff that I might use for decoration at some point, but I've just shoved them in there. Then I've got my cards, because like I said, I do use this as a wallet, so I've got my debit card and things and my driver's license there, which is why I've got my hand there. I've also got this washi tape, because I don't really decorate my Filofax that much. I don't feel it necessary to take washi tape with me everywhere, but just in case I need it, I've got one thing of washi tape. And then on the other side I've got business cards. Never go anywhere without a business card. My library stuff and some these special things, you know what I mean, store collection card things, and just my payment card. And then I've got a blank dashboard. This is the one that came with the Fusion, which is wider. It's the same width as the envelope inserts, as opposed to the same width as the pages. So I use that as at the back, just to protect that from the zips and things at the back. Got my stamps in the back here, and I've got my money in this zip wallet here. This flap here is to protect the zip and everything from here and vice versa. It's also, you know, it hides the zip, I suppose. However, I use this a lot, so I'm thinking I might cut this off so that it's like that, because this is actually quite rough and sharp, and it doesn't cut your fingers, but it really hurts running your fingers along the edge of it. It's because it's raw leather and it's suede on the back. So I think I may cut that off. I haven't decided. The Kensington only has one pen loop, which is okay with me, because it's a nice size pen loop. It's a proper leather pen loop, single leather. It doesn't have the folded in inside, so pens don't get caught on it. It just, you know, it's suede inside and leather on the outside. So it stretches. So I'm training it at the moment. It's getting better. I want to eventually be able to fit my larger pens in. You can't put like the Colettos or anything, because they've got rubber gel clips, but I can fit, like this one fits, but it's a bit stiff. So I've got to train the leather. So at the moment I just keep my Sharpie fine liner in there because I use that a lot. So that's my setup for my Filofax for April.